Man, let's get it.
I come to you hungry and tired. You give me food, let me sleep. I come to you weak. You give me strength, and that's deep. You call me a sheep and lead me to green pastures. Only asking that I keep the focus in between the chapters. You give me the word and only ask that I interpret. And give me the eyes that I may recognize the serpent. You know I ain't perfect, but you like me to try. I'm like the devil who just wants me to lie till I die.
Hey,
Lord, why is it that?
I just had to do this.
Pain. All I saw was black. All I felt was rain. I come to you.
Rest in peace to DMX, man. Rest in peace to DMX. I had to start this motherfucker out with a prayer from my man DMX. But that being said, we're not here to be sad. We're here to get into the shits. This is
right.
Number uno, the inaugural episode of the Gumby Show. And I'm with my dude who I've known for 30 plus years, my guy, the marvelous. Yo, Marvin, what's cracking? What's cracking? What's cracking?
What's going on, Smack? What's going on? How you doing, man?
What it do, man? Wow. Our history runs deep. The roots is like so deep with this one. Shit, like I said, we went to grade school together, known each other since about the 4th, 5th grade. You know what I mean? So it's good. And you know what the crazy thing is? When we met, we kind of bonded over sports.
That's right. I remember that because it was the middle of, I think it was 5th grade. So I was coming into a new school, a new class. You know, I think I had a Raider jacket or a backpack or something on like that.
Yeah.
And you was like, "Oh, you a Raider fan?" I was like, "Yeah." And he was like, "Cool." And that was it. That was the start. That was it. That's how it started.
Oh, shit, a Raider fan? Any black?
Yeah.
We was in the smart people classes. Wasn't too many black people.
Nah, wasn't too many at all.
Was there another black guy in the class?
You know, I don't know. I do remember.
What?
I don't know if there's. I can't remember.
We had Tammy Raspberry. Shout out to Tammy Raspberry.
Yeah, she was in our class.
One of the most remarkable black women I know.
That's right. She's doing big things.
You know, politically, met Barack Obama, still politically active here in the Northern California area. So shout out to her. But nah, man, it was just cool that that's how we bonded. And here we are right now here to give the people a motherfucking show. Sports show.
That's right.
A sports show without the fake hot takes. We're not going to pretend to debate each other. I'm not going to go in on you like I'm fucking Stephen A. Smith or nothing. You know what I mean?
Right. We're just going to express our opinions. They may be the same. They may be different, but we're not going to just take opposite views just to take opposite views.
No. To me, that's lame. To me, that's tired. And if y'all want that, go ahead and turn on fucking ESPN at 8 o'clock in the morning. Monday through Friday, they'll be happy to serve you up some of that fake argument shit.
Right.
You know? But I do think it's important, however, like even if we're not going to have like a super debate type of show, I do think it's important for people who are watching the show to kind of understand where my takes come from, because a lot of my takes may seem wild, they may seem hot. It's kind of like, yo, and one thing I hate about on Facebook is I don't want to fucking type all that shit up and explain like this whole take to you. So I think in this format, I have a lot more freedom and a lot more bandwidth to kind of explain some of my more complex takes, because takes are based on 40 years of watching professional and amateur sports.
I'm with that.
You know what I'm saying? So even now, like when we met, and the way I looked at sports was these athletes, these Bo Jackson types, these Rod Carews, these Dennis Eckersleys, these Ricky Hendersons, just you name it. To me, that was the goal. If I could get good enough at a sport, and then if I'm doing my thing, perhaps maybe one of these rich white owners would give me a contract and I'd get, 5 million, 10 million. I used to feel like 5, 10 million and I would be absolutely straight. Get the contract, ching, ching, money bags. And exotic car, exotic big booty bitch, mansion, jewelry, the whole shit. Then I'm just set for life, right?
Right.
But just being a real, consumer of sports and stuff, you start to see these stories. You start to see a Stevie Francis, right? His story is not. He made $100 million and didn't turn out for him. That contract comes with strings attached. You know what I mean? It comes with control. It comes with a whole subset. You got to consensually release some of your freedoms.
Right.
Debilitating injuries, right? It comes with multiple surgeries. It comes with control. You know what I mean? It comes with a lot of different things. When you're late in your life and you should be enjoying the spoils, you start to see some of these guys from the 1985 Chicago Bears team, like a Jim McMahon, and doesn't really have money. Refrigerator Perry pretty much died poor and toothless.
Right.
You start to see these things, and it's like, nah, that what I thought was the goal was not the goal. You know what I mean? It's not the goal, right? And if you start to think about this, I don't know if you remember in the early mid 2000s, Patrick Ewing, I believe, was the head of the NBA Players Association.
Okay.
They had that meeting about the CBA.
Mm.
And he came out of the meeting saying that, we need more money. We need more money. Latrell Sprewell, I remember there was he got roasted for saying, I got to provide for my family. But he had a 3-year, $21 million contract, which at the time was fucking nuts. So he got roasted for asking for more money to take care of his family, as if $21 million was going to solve everything. And Patrick Ewing says, yeah, we make a lot of money, but we spend a lot of money. And again, you get roasted for saying these things. But what these guys are trying to explain to us simpletons is that when you have a lot of money, $21 million, you don't get $21 million, first of all.
Right. Yeah.
Off top, you're getting taxed at 20%. So that 21 million is at most 16, 17.
Then you got your agent.
Your agent, what's his fee? 510?
510. Then you got your lawyer.
You got your lawyer, right?
There's a whole litany of fees that goes along with the contract.
Yeah, so 21 million to the average guy, you're like, oh, man, I could live on that forever. But these guys can't because their lifestyle requires that they do expensive shit.
Yeah.
So why would they not collectively bargain for more money? And when they do that, what does America say to the athlete when he's asking for more money?
Says they're being greedy.
Yeah.
Says they're being greedy. Yeah, and I feel you on that. That's why I always, 9 times out of 10, I'm not going to say always, but I always side with the player because, first of all, like you said, they have a litany of fees that go along with their contract. Their peak to make money is way shorter than our peaks to make money.
Yeah.
Their careers are over, if they're lucky in their mid-30s to where they got to find another trade, another way to keep the money flowing in. Otherwise, it's going to run out. And most of the players, we know about the LeBrons and the Giannis and the KDs that are making the big contracts. Most of those players aren't making the big contracts. So, in my case, I'm a sports fan. I'm going to side with the player because their income is easily more liquidated than an owner or a commissioner or something like that.
Oh, yeah. And so you kind of agree with me, at this point, what I see is the goal. What I wanted back then was this white guy to come scratch me a check. That ain't the dream. I'd want my paycheck in Bitcoin. I'd want equity. I'd want to be a partner. I'd want to be seen as a partner because, and with all fair, due respect to the white dude, he can't dribble a motherfucking basketball. People ain't paying to watch him come into this gym and shoot and dunk.
Right.
I'm keeping the fucking lights on in this fucking shit. So don't just give me a little bit of a check. Cut me in.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
That's how I feel. And don't get me wrong. This isn't like pile on whitey day. I'm not mad at the rich white dude for doing what rich white dudes do, which is making money off the backs of people. He's supposed to do that. But what I'm saying is America drives me nuts because when people ask for an equal slice, they get demonized. And it's like, why are you okay with this one dude just hogging all the money and not giving it to the workers?
Yeah, and on a weird note, I mean, this is kind of the same subject, but like when they renegotiate the NFL contracts, do you notice the owners never give back money? They never give back money. Players will say, "Oh, you won a 17th game. We want extra time off during the offseason." The owners ain't giving up nothing in that.
You need more money out of the 17 game?
Well, the players, I think the players got maybe a small percentage more.
Yeah.
But I mean, talking about the give backs the owners did, it was mostly off-season stuff. Less contact during mini camps or less mini camps altogether. Less contact during the training camps. It was like, these are all things that aren't costing the ownership nothing.
Nothing. I gotta be honest with you, man. I look at the NFL like it's like rich slaves. Them are some rich ass slaves over there. I don't like my son. I think he's going to be physically gifted. I think he'll be able to compete at a high level in multiple sports. I don't really want him to play football though. They don't have guaranteed contracts. Their bodies are mangled. Their careers are short. It's like, no. NFL players spend the offseason trying not to get hurt. Trying not to get hurt, trying to catch on with the team. NBA players are out smoking weed, banging Instagram models. They do what they want. It's guaranteed. Where do you want to go? The NBA, they're doing it the right way. An NFL player says, hey, man, this police is out here shooting niggas. I don't think that's cool. I don't want to stand for the anthem right now. Blackball them. Kicking off of teams. The NBA partners with their players. Shout out to the NBA. These dudes are professional athletes, kind of living closer to the way I feel like athletes should be able to live, considering that they are in the top 0.001% of something in the world.
Agreed.
When you're brain surgeon in the world, I bet you get special treatment.
Yeah.
Best technologist comes with some fucking perks.
Yeah, that's true.
So we can go a number of ways here. I think the funner way to go here is to get right into the shits. Paul Pierce. All right, so
so Paul Pierce is basically Craig from Friday. He got fired on his off day.
Come on.
Now he didn't say anything controversial. He didn't he didn't show up. He did not show up for work. He had a little fun on his off day. And then he decided to put it on camera. Live to everybody in the world. Who did Paul Pierce used to work for?
Disney, the mouse.
He worked for ESPN, the parent company, the mouse. Disney.
Mouse. Yes.
You can't be having big booty hoes in the background of your Instagram live if you work for the mouse. I'm sorry. There's some rules that go along to every job. That's probably one of Disney's rules. Probably one of his unwritten rules. I'm not sure if it was in his contract, but it probably goes with the mouse. It probably goes without saying.
There's a little part of the text he didn't read that says, in the event that you are to go on Instagram Live, thou shalt not have any big booty hoes in the background.
It could have been the fine print. I'm not sure. He should probably have his lawyer looking over that. But it's too late anyway because, yeah.
So wait. Let me ask you a question though. On the other side, is the mouse slut shaming? Maybe the mouse is slut shaming. Maybe he should fight it as they are slut shaming those young ladies, professionals, sex workers who are earning a living for their families.
So some type of discrimination case against the mouse. Mm.
Yeah, he was contributing to their ability to earn money.
Could have been contributing to their college fund. Who knows? But Paul Pierce, yeah, that is, I mean, that's just not the way you want to get fired. I'm not sure there's a right way to get fired, but if you're going to, there's probably a wrong way. And I'm gonna err on the side of that's probably going towards the wrong way of being fired. Um, I don't know what more to say about that.
All right, so it's funny because I said we're not going to fake debate. We are not going to fake debate here. I'm going to take the other side of this one. I want to connect it to the last conversation we were just having, which is that these checks that you get from these big corporations come attached with restrictions on your freedom. So I've seen people insulting Paul Pierce as if he's dumb, and Paul Pierce is worth $70 million. Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He is, if the mouse said that this guy's his visibility, his ability to articulate things about the sport, his background, his sports acumen is worth X number of dollars, that means he's good enough at his job that he deserved to be a professional to get paid for it, meaning that somebody else is probably going to pay Paul Pierce to talk about basketball.
Fucks.
And if not, why couldn't Paul Pierce make a phone call to me and say, Smack, I want to do a show with you, the marvelous one. Go direct to the people. We don't need the mouse. And if Paul Pierce wanted to have big booty hoes in the background twerking while we're talking, might be a bit distracting, but I wouldn't fire him. Maybe he brings an audience.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And Matt Barnes and Captain Jack, they have a really good show, All the Smoke.
I heard of that.
Real sports talks. They smoking weed the whole time, kicking it, just being real, cussing, doing whatever. You know what I mean? And it's actually a good show. I could see him joining them or doing something along those lines where you don't have to go to the rich white dude to cut you a check. You just go directly to the people.
Yeah, that's true. That is very true. Now, that being said, Paul Pierce is out there living his life. Obviously he's out there living his life. I just have this thing about burning bridges. You if you wanted to leave the mouse, perfectly fine. Go ahead.
Give it 2 week notice. Give it 14-day notice.
Yeah. Just that's just not the way to do it. That's just my opinion.
Hey y'all, I'm tired of playing this game. I'm about to get on some wild shit. So let me just wild shit, y'all. Y'all should disassociate yourself from me right now.
Yeah. And if you follow me on Instagram, might not want to. Might want to click that unfollow button. Just
unfollow.
Just because I'm not sure you're going to want to be associated with me tomorrow morning.
Yeah, he played that shit. Oh, you know what though? Here's the funniest part about that to me is that Paul Pierce is lit in that video. That motherfucker high as a kite. He talking to the strippers. That shit is. I mean, he went out like a G. If you go out, that's the way you go out. That's how you do it.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. That's crazy. But hey, he's good. He's good with it. You saw his follow-up video. He's good with it. So he's got options on the table, I'm sure, and I'm sure he's going to take up one of those options. One of those options might be investing in a strip club of some sort. We never know. But the man has options. So crazy how it went down. But hey.
So you're saying you got to be a stupid motherfucker to get fired on your day off. And I'm saying, Paul Pierce, live your best life.
I think that's pretty much it. Yeah.
Our first disagreement, and it wasn't for us. We just actually disagreed on that. So let me ask you this.
Yes, sir.
Speaking of double standards, right now in the NBA, and it seems like every year in the NBA, the NBA season starts off at about an 18 arms race. 18 start out the season with a legitimate chance of making a deep run into the playoffs and potentially challenging for a title. And right now we're kind of that 8 teams has dwindled down to about 4. right?
I'd say about I'd say about four. Talking about have a legit chance, yeah.
Four, maybe five, right? I mean, you got to have the Lakers, of course. The Lakers and the Nets are leading this arms race. They're just loading up. They're just getting cheap veterans, people who are chasing that ring, and they're coming in, doing their thing, and they're just joining forces. They've got Voltron going on over there.
Right.
You got the Lakers. Lakers are doing something similar. You've got LeBron, right? So you've got a different type of Voltron, but you've got the linchpin and the guy that's been in the finals, I think, going on 9 years straight now. Something
Except
like
for
that.
the year he was injured. Except for the year he was injured a couple years ago.
Yeah. So who the Clippers would be team number 3, right? Or
I want to say the Clippers. But I got to see it with the Clippers first. I mean, I would say, yeah, if they're probably the second best team, barring health, they're probably the second best team in the West. In the West?
Okay.
In the West. We're talking about the West. So I still got to see them do it. But, yeah, talent-wise, they're probably the second best team.
Okay.
So talking about the Lakers and the Clippers out West. And then out East, you have the Nets. And who's your other? Is it going to be Philly? Is it Milwaukee?
I put Milwaukee as the 4, as long as they have Giannis.
Okay.
And I put them there because they've made, well, actually, I want to take that back. They did not make a deep run. I guess when you have the best player in the league, to me, I always feel like you have a legitimate chance. Not in the upper crust, not in the top 2, not top 3, but 4 or 5. I put them there, and I put the 76ers in that.
I would probably go the opposite way. Not because I don't believe in Milwaukee or anything like that. It's just that Giannis is their best player, but he can be defensed, especially in the postseason. We've seen it. Seen it the last couple of years. Once they get deeper, he can run into a good defense, which Philly is. And I think I would probably give a slight edge to Philly over Milwaukee. But I mean, we're talking about 2A and 2B.
Yeah, I've got no problem with that. That's legit. That's legit. So that being said, the double standard is that GMs put together a super team, and it is what it is. Players get together and decide to play together, and everybody hates you. You know what I mean?
Right.
I want to point that out. It has nothing to do with anything other than, how do you feel? Is it just right now? Is it just Nets and Lakers? Are those the real 2 that you even care about? Or do you actually feel legitimately 3 and 4 have a shot?
I think, well, obviously this is all barring health. We're just going to assume that come playoff time, everyone is at least 85 to 90% ready to go.
Yeah.
Okay. With that being said, then Brooklyn's in. There's nobody that can compete with that amount of firepower. I thought maybe their defense would be their downfall, and it very well could be, because they're not a good defensive team. They're never going to be a good defensive team. But they have so much firepower, and the fact that Kyrie has basically said to James Harden, you play point guard, I'm going to be off the ball. I don't need the ball in my hands. Just a couple years ago, he was saying that he needed the ball in his hands. That was the reason why he left Cleveland. But now he's saying, go ahead, James, take it. I don't need the ball in my hands all the time. I think their chemistry can be good enough. Their firepower definitely good enough to make it to the finals. Now with LA, when healthy, yes, they are head and shoulders the best team in the West. Only thing is, right now they're not healthy, and they are falling in the league standings to where they could end up in the 4 through 8 bracket. Now, there's no home court advantage right now because there's going to be minimal fans being able to be in the stadiums, but it's going to be a tougher road for them to get to the finals, because teams that they would usually play in the conference finals, they might be playing in the first and second round of the finals. So I'm a little skeptical. I don't know who would be the team if they were not to make it, but I'm a little skeptical about, they need to stem the tide as far as them falling to the bottom half of of the Western Conference.
Yeah, I agree with that to a certain extent. But here's one thing I will say is if you do fall into the lower half of the bracket, it means you have a tougher round one opponent, but you then kind of inherit their schedule, so you might be okay. You know what I mean?
It's a good possibility. Yeah,
you inherit the higher seed schedule, and you just have to beat that higher seed. So, to me, playoff basketball is just about the dudes. Who's got the dudes? Who's got the closers? Who's got the size? Who's healthy and who's kind of playing the right brand of basketball right now? You know what I mean? And an NBA officiating is, to me, it's done in a certain way that there are runs. They've swallowed a whistle at times, and then at the end of the game, they call it a certain way. They're gonna give you the opportunity to get that shot up and make that shot. And if you're like Steph Curry and Klay Thompson, you're going to be the hero more than you are the dog on a lot of days. So that's why the Warriors are good in these type of situations. You look at the Lakers, you got a guy like LeBron. He don't want the ball at the end of games. He's not a closer. Anthony Davis, I love Anthony Davis for the first, 44, 46 minutes of a game, but I don't necessarily want to get the ball to Anthony Davis when I'm down 2 with 15 seconds to go. Give me Kyrie Irving. Give me Kevin Durant. They've got a gang of motherfucking closers over there. That is the thing that the Lakers are missing. And I wonder when it will bite them in the ass at some point in time. I just wonder when it's going to happen. It seems like right now they just have got to get out to a big lead because they know that the pack is going to catch up.
Yeah, I got you. And, the Lakers, they have LeBron, they have AD, and LeBron is the de facto point guard. But their wings, man, their wings are just bad. I mean, KCP is out there running around for 32, 38 minutes a game, giving you like 2 points and an assist.
You know why? You know why, in my opinion, that is?
What is that?
His agent is fucking Rich Paul.
Oh, no, I know why he's on the squad. Why he's on the squad.
He's so much of fucking money.
When he signed that contract, I was like, oh, it must be good being with Clutch Sports right now and being on the same team as your boy that is pretty much running Clutch Sports.
Yeah, you get paid. That's what that is. So they're sacrificing some of that to have LeBron there, keep LeBron happy. So you just got to kind of run everything through him, and he's been good enough in a lot of spots to win a title, to will his team to a title.
He can overcome a lot. I mean, last year was a little bit different. They had Danny Green, and he balled out in the playoffs a little bit. They had playoff Rondo for him. But this year, they don't have Danny Green. They don't have Rondo. They have Schroeder, unproven in the playoffs. Decent player, but unproven in the playoffs. We already went on about KCP, and Kyle Kuzma is still too inconsistent. I'm trying to figure out what their wing scoring is going to be like. Andre Drummond is good, and he's good at what he does. He doesn't really move the needle for me because I'm not sure that, he's what they needed. Of course, it's low risk buy because he's a buyout. So why not? But, he doesn't really move the needle for me. What do you think about that?
To me, again, it's an arms race, so just stockpiling weapons. So Andre Drummond wasn't on my list of who's the guy you need to go get to take you to the championship, but why not get him if he's available? You're just for playoff basketball, you're adding a big body, you're adding a back of the rotational type of player who could come in and give you, if he's playing 12 to 15 minutes and he knows it, he can go out there and Dennis Rodman this shit. Just go hard as shit for 12 to 15 minutes when he's used to playing 30, 28 to 30, 34 minutes a game. Right. Now you do this coming. He's gonna maybe he can come in as an energy player. I don't know how it works out, but he came here for a reason. He's in search of a ring. He's not going to be demanding much. I think that was part of the allure of going there. Is he knows I don't have to be the focal point here. I can just come in and just be me. Yeah, so it's not a super sexy or exciting kind of guy you're bringing in. But as we start if we're looking at this arms race, if I was the Nets, I think I'm looking at that. If I'm the Nets, I'm saying, gosh, damn it, that nigga too. Not, oh well, I don't care. Like, nah, I'd be like, shit, all right, I see what they doing over there.
All right. So what do you think about Blake Griffin and LaMarcus Aldridge going to the Nets?
I love it. I feel like Blake Griffin was kind of playing possum. Like he was just ready to get the fuck out of Detroit. Because as soon as he got in Detroit, that nigga's jumping again. He threw that oop to that boy. That boy jumped so I looked like he was jumping over a Kia. Like he was over a Kia, Blake Griffin again. Wow, wow. When he dunked that shit off the oop, he looked at the bitch and started yelling at him. Got all light-skinned and shit. I was like, look at light-skinned getting all fresh over there. It was like motherfucking, what's the Noops? What was that? The Spike Lee?
Yeah, from school days.
School days. Like, yo, I was like, look over here, go hard. I was like, okay, I liked it. I like to see that from Blake Griffin. I like to see it look like, again, he knows he's not starting five. He just has to come off the bench and come in and yam on some niggas every now and then, and he's doing his job. So in that space, I love adding Blake Griffin. And who else did they add?
LaMarcus Aldridge.
LaMarcus Aldridge is kind of, to me, running on. It's probably the reason the Lakers had to add Drummond. It was like, okay, they got another big body on the back end of that rotation. We got to be able to match that. We can't be coming in with a subpar dude as our fourth guy off the bench. We got to come in with an Andrew Drummond. So you got Kuzma coming off. You know, you got a litany of guys coming off the bench that are quality guys. So you just shored up that rotation for those guys when it comes time to substitute.
Yeah. And truth be told, they lost a lot of depth when they traded for James Harden. They lost Karis LeVert, and they lost Jared Allen, who I mean, at this point in his career is probably better than DeAndre Jordan, who they kept, but that's the price you had to pay to give up to get James Harden.
Teams don't want Jordan. Teams don't want that nigga. You don't want that guy. I don't know what his plus minus is. I'd have to look into that. But 7-foot dudes that can't shoot free throws or 3-pointers. This is our first. I'm not gonna. I almost went somewhere, but I didn't go there. Go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say, you know, if he was a rim protector like he used to be, you know, he's not protecting the rim like he used to. You know, back in his Clipper days. So he's going to get his, you know, probably like 15 to 20 minutes now, as opposed to 25 or 30, because they could bring in LaMarcus and they could bring in Blake off the bench. So I could see why they got those two. Yeah.
So, and I can see why he wasn't traded, because I don't think the team would have taken him. I was like, nope.
No, unless he had an expiring contract, which I don't think he does. I think he still has one more year on his contract.
Why he's still there?
That's why he's still there.
Can't really move him.
But it'll be interesting. I always thought, you know, when they traded for Harden, I was like, this is either going to be it's going to be spectacular in a good way, or it's going to be a dumpster fire. And right now, it's looking like it's leaning toward spectacular.
Man, I had all type of hopes that this was going to blow up. I was like, oh, this is going to be just a like you said, a dumpster fire. It's going to be a train wreck. And I was waiting for this to implode. It hasn't imploded, man.
No, it hasn't. It hasn't. And they look good. They've only played together, I think 7 or 8 games. They only played as a team. But in those 7 or 8 games, I mean, they are regularly scoring 140 points a game.
Yeah, if I'm the Lakers, I'm spooked. I'm looking
because you can't match that.
No, he ain't beating them in a 7-game series.
You can't match 140 a game. I'm sorry, and they don't have the horses. They don't.
No. And of games, who do you want? Do you want Kyrie, James Harden, and Kevin Durant, or do you want LeBron, Anthony Davis, and whoever else you would call their third closer over there?
Yeah.
Close.
It's not even close.
It's not even close. Both teams healthy. Nets are dog walking the Lakers.
Yeah, I have to agree on that. And that's just, that's just how it is. I mean, people are probably saying that they're the most legit scoring threat from 3 people that they've seen in NBA history. Now, I at first I was disagreeing with that. I was like, well, come on now. We just had the Splash Brothers and KD. Can't get no better than that. So until they win a title, I'm gonna stick with the Splash Brothers and KD from the last couple of years.
Yeah.
But if I see it in the finals, I might have to say, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm a Warriors fan, so I'm biased to those three, but I got to give it to James Harden, KD, and Kyrie. Much as I hate to say it, man. Speaking of, on my podcast, my other podcast that I do, we always do a top five. So this week I wanted to do a top five. And speaking of the guys we just talked about, and the reason I didn't think it was work because these NBA dudes are fucking spicy. They're very spicy. So I want to do a top five spicy list, right?
Okay.
And number five is going to surprise you. Number five, I promise you. You can probably guess the other ones. Number five, my number five most spicy NBA player, Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard.
Kawhi. Okay. All right. I'm intrigued. Why Kawhi?
Because Kawhi Leonard is one of the most passive-aggressive human beings we've ever seen. That whole shit he did with the Spurs when he got injured and wouldn't report to the Spurs doctors and had his uncle being the point person between him and Greg Popovich.
Talking for him.
Right? Gets traded to the Raptors, right? And wins a chip there. And then they have this whole Kawhi sweepstakes, right? And it's like Kawhi's not talking to anybody. Again, it's Uncle Jared or Uncle whoever his freaking name is. He's talking to Chris Carter. He's talking to this person. And you got all this information. Everybody says he's going to the Lakers. Then they say, no, he's going to the Clippers. Oh, no, he's staying in Toronto. He plays this whole game with people. Then he kind of comes out and does an interview and he goes, huh? Yeah. I don't know. He's in front of cameras. He's putting on this role, but behind the scenes, he's a lot more active than he's letting on. He's like the Bill Belichick of the NBA.
Yeah.
Bill Belichick goes out there and grumbles, we got to go out there. So we're on to Houston. I don't know. I don't have Facebook or InstaFace or Snapbook.
Yeah.
But in real life, from players who play for him, say he's not really like that. He does that to fuck with the media. So to me, Kawhi Leonard is really fucking with the media more than a lot of these dudes. Like he's throwing middle fingers at the media in a way that a lot of these guys don't. So to me, Kawhi Leonard, underrated spiciness.
Okay, I see it. All right, go on number four.
Number four, LeBron James. LeBron is very expressive. I don't know. LeBron James gives me weird vibes. Like that show, The Shop. Again, it's such a contrived. Like you could put that on ESPN. Why are you on HBO with that? He's sitting down in a barber chair, drinking wine with a bunch of dudes. We don't get together and drink wine. We don't do that. I've never in my life called him up. Hey man, what's going on? Kicking it. What you about to do? Man, come through. Bring some wine. I'm going to call some other guys over. We're all going to drink wine together.
Yeah.
No, that fucking happened. LeBron is always getting in with the referee. He's falling. He's like the worst flapper I've ever seen. Takes a lot of things personal. A lot of things get to him. So LeBron,
he does have triggers. As
right?
as we were able to find out with Draymond Green and a couple other people. Mario Chalmers famously called him a name that he doesn't like. So he does have triggers, and he snaps with those triggers. But you're right. He does try to control his image a lot, and I have nothing against trying to control your brand. He is a brand, but everything he does is about his image off the court.
Yeah. So he's very controlling, right?
Yeah.
Number 3, James Harden. James Harden put on a fat suit when he was in Houston to get traded. He came out there looking like Sherman Klump. He goes to strip clubs after playoff losses. He really had on a fat suit out there in Houston balling, bricking on purpose, gets traded and lost like 30 pounds in the night. Like, oh, he played y'all, man. James Harden, fat suit, Sherman Clump.
Yeah, he dogged it. I mean, he dogged it for real to get out of there. And he can't even deny that he dogged it. Everybody knows that he dogged it.
Yeah.
You know, when James Harden is only taking like 12 shots a game his last week where he was in there, oh, he was gone. He was 1 foot out the door.
DeMarcus Cousins wanted to fight that nigga on the way out too.
Marcus, I wanted to see, they had to get him out of there for James Harden's safety. They had to get him out of there because DeMarcus Boogie wasn't playing that. You said that to me? You said that about us? Oh. Okay. All right. That's how it's gonna be. Yeah, they had to get James Harden out of there for his own safety.
Number 2, Kyrie Irving.
Kyrie
should be one because Kyrie this season has turned up the spicy and the petty. This is like Hall of Fame petty. He went to the Boston Gardens with sagebrush and saged the court before he played.
Kyrie is a different dude. Kyrie is a different dude, and he's taking it to another level this year because he's playing with his boy. You know, here's the thing about Kyrie. Everybody in the league loves him, except for the teams that he plays for. That's been his thing. You know, before he came to Brooklyn, you know, everybody in the league loves him. Like, you don't think that, like, I remember seeing a clip of him at Harrison Barnes' wedding, you know, dancing with Steph Curry. I'm like,
yeah,
how's he friends with Harrison Barnes? They're not from the same area. They went to different colleges. Why is he so close to where he's at their wedding? But everybody feels that way about Kyrie around the league.
He's the dude. I guess he's that dude, man. I've never met him. He just appears to be spicy to me. You know, he doesn't like LeBron, hates LeBron, actually. Got into it with Dennis Schroeder because Dennis Schroeder called him a nigga yesterday. You don't know me like that. Watch your fucking mouth, he told. Like, wow.
Yeah.
Watch your fucking mouth. Kyrie got her like that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't think that Kyrie was like that, you know, but man, there's layers to this guy.
There is layers to this guy. He's more than just a flat earth dude.
Flat earth dude.
He's more than just a flat earth dude.
I didn't even get into the flat earth. I don't know. You know what? Fuck, man. Kyrie's number 1. Number 2 on my list.
You just revise your list.
Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant is the most sensitive professional athlete I think I have ever seen. He argues with eggs on Twitter. He left Steph Curry hanging. He got at Steve Kerr this year. He got into a Michael Rappaport, called him a faggot. What else did he say he was going to do? He's going to
come to his house. He was going to come to Michael Rappaport's house.
It seems like it's him and Russell Westbrook have some spice, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like, man, KD to be where he's at in life. I don't know. I said I'm not here to criticize athletes, but they got everything you think you want. But yo, KD, you got like 150 to 200 milli. You've got 3 rings. You've proved you've been the MVP multiple times. You've won. Why are you not happy? That I don't know. I need to get that level of success so I can understand what's missing now. What's missing?
Maybe he enjoys it. It seems like to me he enjoys it. Like, this is something that he loves to do. And the fact that, you know, he can come at Joe Blow from, you know, Saginaw, Michigan, as hard as he can come at, you know, Stephen A. Smith from ESPN. I think he just enjoys it. It's funny to me. It makes for good entertainment. I mean, he does take it over the top, but I think it's just something that he loves.
He just actually likes doing it. So
yeah, I think he just loves doing it.
He's just here for it. He got time.
Yeah.
He's got time.
Yeah, he's that guy. He's just the one to want to get into it with anybody. He's a perfect contrarian, the antagonist.
Y'all think y'all gonna get off me because my name is Katie? Fuck y'all. Now I'm finna get all y'all niggas. I'm here for the smoke.
Yeah,
Katie for the Twitter smoke.
That's Katie right there.
All right. So that being said, I know we talked and you said you wanted to do a segment and it was gonna be going in. So we gonna go in on Marvelous One. Who you going?
All right. We're gonna scale a little bit away from sports. This is a sports show, but we're not afraid to dip our toes into other areas. Person I want to go in, and it pains me to say this. It doesn't really pain me to say this, but I was a real fan of hers. You couldn't tell me nothing wrong about Stacey Dash. You couldn't. This is like 10, 15 years ago. Stacey Dash is really easy on the eyes. I'm just going to say that. But Stacey. She got a contract with Fox Sports a few years back. Now, Fox News. They hired her as a consultant of some sort. Now, she's not part of the media. She's not a political correspondent. She's a Black woman. That's easy on the eyes. They paid her some money, and she said some things about the Black community that now she's trying to take back. Why is she trying to take it back? Could it be that Fox stopped paying her? It could be that Fox stopped paying her. It could be that she wants to come back home to her Black fans because her white fans are gone. Could be a number of things. Recently, Stacey Dash apologized for some of the things she said. These are some of the things she said. I got some highlights. Let me see. Do you care that Jay-Z's have taken the capital you have given them and funded a communist oppressive regime?
Okay.
Yeah. Let's see. She said there shouldn't be a BET anymore. Mind you, the last person that gave Stacey Dash a job before Fox was BET. But there shouldn't be BET awards because all they do is award Black people. She said the same thing about Black History Month. There shouldn't be a Black History Month because we're all Americans. And I could kind of understand that, but there's a need for Black history. That's why they condense it into a month. But I digress. Stacey apologized for her actions because angry. Now, I don't know about you, but being Black in America is not easy. I wake up angry all the time. I ain't never said some of the things that Stacey did.
No.
And now she wants to apologize. She wants to come back. But the proverbial mythical Black card, she voluntarily gave that back. And I'm sorry, you can't just say, hey, I don't need this anymore. There's a woman Black card. And then 5 years later, after Fox fired you, say, oh, I'm gonna need that back. Can I get that back, please? I said, I'm sorry. Stacey, you're fired. I'm sorry. You're gonna have to find another fan base, find somebody else to crawl back to, because ain't nobody I know trying to hear what you're trying to say. So, peace, Stacey. Like I said, you were very easy on the eyes, but you're ugly in the soul. I can't deal with you.
Boom. You just got roasted, Stacey Dash. I loved you in Clueless. And yes, she is very easy on the eyes. She's a beautiful, beautiful woman. But now, man, you can't sell us down the river and come back. Hey, you go down the river, that's your right. Hey, but you got to stay over there. We ain't fucking with you. We ain't fucking.
Exactly. Yeah. Sometimes you can't come back home.
Nah, you ain't come. Nah, we ain't fucking with you, Stacey Dash. No. We ain't. If you'd have quit your job in the middle of your Fox News contract, okay, yeah. All right, you did the right thing, but now you ain't getting a check. Now, I didn't mean that shit. I just did
Yeah, I was angry. Nah, I try to hear that.
Get the fuck up out of here. Get the fuck up out of here. But
all right, who do you got this week?
You know what? I'm going to keep it really short this week because I'm in a space right now where I got the DMX spirit right now. I'm in a very forgiving mood this week. I'm not going to go super hard on nobody, but I do want to go in on Michael Rappaport. Michael Rappaport, as spicy as KD is, and you know how spicy he is. He's spicy enough to be number one on my most spicy NBA players list. You're going at this guy publicly. You're getting at him. You met him. You guys are in the same fantasy football league. And you guys have a DM exchange and you put it out in the public.
You snitch. You snitch.
Listen, bro. Like, listen, yeah, he threatened to do some ridiculous things to you. Just say it back. You know what I mean? He went on the show with Shannon Sharp and Skip Bayless and had no answers for his behavior either. Oh, I just don't like that. Yeah, we get it. You didn't like what he said to you. We understand that.
Yeah, but why make it public?
Yeah, why make it public? That's hella whack, like you said. Been an ally, been one of the cool white boys you would think you would invite to the cookout. But number one rule of the cookout is, nigga, you can't be snitching about what's going on at the cookout.
That's right. That's right.
That's the number one rule, man. You know what I'm saying? Don't sit on my grandma's good furniture. Make sure you speak to everybody and don't go out of here snitching about what you saw while you was here.
Yeah.
Not that many rules to it. Not that many rules to it. And he broke one. He broke one. So Michael Rappaport, yeah, out of here. Yeah, you fucking jerk off. I believe he's from New York. You jerk off.
Yeah.
Is that what it's saying?
I agree with that.
Knuckle sandwich, you jerk off. Yeah, so not fuck with him. I will be able to add some video. So did you see that dunk today? No. That dunk.
Did I? I'm trying to call the Atlanta Hawks to see what the funeral arrangements are going to be for Clint Capella. Because I saw his ghost walk away from that dunk.
Refresh my memory. Who was the young brother that performed the dunk?
That would be one Miles Bridges from the Charlotte Hornets.
Okay. It was filthy. Cut back on him. Oh man.
He went so hard that he didn't care who was in the lane. I don't think he would have cared if Bill Russell himself was there. He went so hard and yammed on it so hard. Like, I was like, oh my gosh. Now, the Anthony Edwards dunk was nice, but it wasn't on a shot blocker like Clint Capella. So that the Miles Bridges dunk elevates to number one for the year, in my opinion.
Is that the number one? Ooh, you know what? Next show, let's compile the best dunks in the NBA. Let's come up with a top five. Let's do a top five.
So are we talking about all time or this year?
No, this year. Okay. Top five of this year.
Okay. All right. I'll take a look at that. But yeah. What'd you think of it?
Golly, I'd have to go back. I don't want to hot take it and disagree. I want to go back and look at some of the better dunks this year. It was just filthy. It was filthy enough that I had to send it to you. Like, yo, did you see this shit? You know what I mean? That's how good the dunk was. When you got to shoot your nigga a text like, yo, did you see this shit right here? Like,
yeah, that was nasty.
One of those. There was a lot on that shit. I appreciated that. That's what I love about the NBA's. And we got to talk about what I don't like about the NBA, but what I do love about the NBA is that you get the best athletes, the most graceful athletes in the world. And they're able to do things that don't seem humanly possible. Like, you can't jump that, you can't be that tall, weigh that much, and jump from that far away and dunk over that guy who's that, you know what I mean? Like, that shouldn't be possible.
Yeah, for real. You can't, me and you, we both played basketball in high school, and before that, we know how hard it is to shoot a 32-footer, a 33-footer, 35-footer, like these guys are doing. They're shooting jumpers from the circle, jumpers. People don't understand how much strength that takes. And then you want to shoot that with accuracy too?
And then the reps, Mark. There's the reps. Like you can't go into a game and like, I'm just gonna try this shot. That means you have to spend hours of your day shooting from there.
Yeah. And like I said, the strength that
it
takes.
How many hours a day? You got to shoot your layups. You got to stretch. You got to lift weights. You got to shoot free throws. You got to work on your pull-ups. You got to work on your step backs. You got to work on your. You got to do all these things. And now to add to that, let me add this spot here.
Yeah.
You're adding more. I've got my daughter doing 3-pointers, not nearly that deep, but we're practicing 3-pointers 4 to 6 feet behind the 3-point line with the thought process of if you're wet from here, it forces the defense out and they can go downhill. So we're actually exploring that option. It's not something that we never even thought of it. Like we would have been benched, first of all. Our coach wouldn't have allowed for it.
Right.
But it's something that they are now adding to their arsenal. Dame Lillard, these guys are getting at it like that. It's a different game. The NBA is a completely different game now than it was when we were watching it in the 80s. Completely. Yeah. It's a different sport.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So you know what? This was good. I want to keep this as short and sweet. We're coming up on an hour. Let's go ahead and close out. Man, this is I really enjoyed doing this with you. I want to thank everybody who has tuned in. Make sure you smash that like button. Leave us a comment, share, comment. Let me know what you think. Who did you agree with more today? The Marvelous One or the Smack God? And I won't be offended. Let me know if you think I suck. Do you think my shirt is nice or my shirt is ugly? I want interactions. I want to know what people are thinking. You have suggestions for the show. I'm wide open for that. And I agree that my co-host here would be as well.
Yes, sir.
So, like I said, man, thanks everybody for tuning in. This was the first episode of the Gumby Show. Rest in peace to DMX.
Rest in peace, DMX.
On the spicy list. And we out this motherfucker. Hey. All right. Let me see if I can end this motherfucker. How do I end it? End. There we go. End the broadcast. Did it kick you out?